Okay, hi and welcome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Michelle Dale, coming to you from Morning Mindset Room inside virtual co-working space. This is where we help virtual assistants to level up in their business, lifestyle, and mindset. And I am super excited about today's session because I get to kind of share a little perspective and tell a little bit of a story. We are doing the theme this week on preparing for success and how actually a lot of people are sitting there waiting for success to happen to them, and that can work, but preparing for it can certainly accelerate the process. So when we talk about preparing for success, we've talked about getting your systems in place and getting a plan in place. And today we're going to talk about money. So I have a story that I hope if I share this story with you, it will somehow make you think, oh, okay, I've not been doing this, and maybe this is why money has not been, coming into my business, or I've not been getting what I want out of it. So preparing for success in a financial sense, like what is the money plan? What is the money direction for your virtual assistant business? Now, when I started my business, I literally was on my own. I booked a one-way ticket out of the UK. I'd got a suitcase and a laptop, a little tiny bit of money in the bank, and I just knew I'm starting my virtual assistant business because I want to travel. I want to be on my own and I want to travel and move around. How do I do that? Okay, well, if I did some work on the internet and somehow was able to manage and make money on the internet, then I would be able to meet my goal, okay? I never thought at the time how much money that would require, because I'd come out of the UK. Sure, I've been on holidays before, but that doesn't tell you about the cost of living in different countries. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just hang out here for a while, see how much it costs me here, and then try and find another comparable country to move to. So as I was starting my business, my goal was very loose. I wanted to travel. I wanted to be able to take care of myself and fund myself, but I never really knew how much that was going to cost. And things were gradually unfolding, and like I did a little bit here and a little bit there, and I was able to get by. And then suddenly one day I found myself in a situation where I wasn't in a sort of committed relationship of any kind, and I was pregnant. So I was in Egypt, didn't really have a committed relationship, wasn't sure what was going to happen with the father, and I was pregnant. Now, immediately in that moment, I had a very different perspective on money and my virtual assistant business, because I knew then, I can't go out and get a job because not many people are hiring pregnant women, like in my mind. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying in my mind back then, I'm not going to be able to get a job. And even if I did get a job, when the baby comes, what am I going to do with the baby? Because I need to take care of this baby. So there was that. The gentleman that I was involved with, who was a father of the baby, also did not have a job. He was traveling. So that was not, a potential solution. So the only solution I had was, I have to make this business work financially for my family that is currently in process. So I literally got so serious about money at that point. Where am I going to live? How much is it going to cost to live there? How much am I going to need to get the stuff for the baby? How much is it going to cost me to prepare the baby? How much is it going to cost to have the baby? Where am I going to have the baby? Suddenly I got so hyper focused on how much money I had to make that then, like, once you got that figure, then you're like, how do I apply it to my business? How do I create services, packages, rates that are going to provide me with the exact financial means that I need? Now, at that point, I suddenly had a very definite goal, financial goal, for what I needed to do and how I needed to grow my business in a financial sense in order to meet my financial goals. Now, looking at this, I'd dabbled in virtual assistants for a couple of years, was learning some skills, was messing around with a few things, working for free for some people for testimonials and things like that. I wasn't hyper focused on the money aspect of it because it was just me and I was living in a really cheap country. Back then in 2005, my rent every month was 50 English pounds. I mean, it was nothing. So for me, I didn't need a lot of money in order to survive until I needed money in order to survive. And not just me, but other human beings that I was now responsible for. Within 1 year from that shift, and again, this goes into who you're being and what you're doing, but 1 year from that shift, from it being like playing around and toying around with the financial aspect of it, welcome Damien, to actually moving into, this is how much I need, this is what I need to make every month, this is what I need up front, like this is a lump sum I need right now. How am I going to make it happen? The first thing I looked at was my packages and my pricing and my fees and my rates, and I needed something that was going to be feasible. I then calculated how many clients would need to come in on that package, how many clients would need to come on that rate, and then I made it my mission to find that specific client for that specific purpose. And within 1 year of making that decision, I was pregnant, I had a baby, and then I was going into $19,000 months. Okay, so I'm like, I don't know how to make this more clear. I went from dabbling, like maybe I'll make $1,000 a month, sometimes 500, but either way it's fine, to $19,000 a month. And that was all through a pregnancy, all through giving birth to a baby and having a small baby. I also bought things like computers and phones, and I completely set myself up for success. I prepared myself for that, even down to the equipment. So that's where you need to be focused on. We're talking about finances today. So really start to get your baseline of what you need in your business to not only survive, but thrive. We want to create thriving businesses. And we then reverse engineer that package into the amount of money that it's going to, that the client will need to invest, how many specific clients you're going to need, and where you're going to find those clients. And then you basically find the client that's going to match your financial goals and your financial needs as a virtual assistant. And remember, virtual assistance is not capped. There is no regulated rate or hourly rate or package rate or anything that is fixed for virtual assistants. And also, virtual assistance is versatile. You can develop skills in virtual assistance that will yield more income, that will yield more money. And sometimes it is only about how you frame those skills, okay? The box that you put those skills into. Because if you have skill, isolated skill, other isolated skill, and you've got all these different isolated skills, as an isolated skill, it may not be worth that much to the end client. But when you are able to frame them into a concept, and then you are able to make that concept create a specific result for a client that they truly want and need, suddenly your isolated skills become an in-demand package. And you will be able to charge more for that in-demand package than those isolated skills. So all you have to do is figure out how you're going to throw your concept together, what you're going to charge for that concept, and then how many clients you're going to need for that concept, and hyper-focus your attention on that. You cannot, I get VAs come to me and come into my inbox and my, my Facebook Messenger and things like that, basically saying, I need a job, I'll charge, pay me whatever. When you approach a client from that angle, what you're doing is a disservice, because you are then making that person look at you like you are so cheap and maybe very not good at what you do, that you're basically saying I've got no self-respect to say this is how much I cost and this is my value. So what a lot of VAs are coming in from this mindset that I used to be in. I used to be in that, like, yeah, I'll charge whatever, like I need the experience, until I stepped into a place where, like, okay, I've got skills, I can charge for these skills, I need to charge for these skills, I've got humans to take care of, okay, how is this going to work and come together? Suddenly you have this structure that was never there before. And that's what's going to make you financially successful as a virtual assistant. The hyper focus on the end result of the financial income that you're going to need, and reframing your isolated skills into a concept that you will be able to charge for as a result. So skill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 can go into this concept, and then it's going to be worth a lot more than if you were selling isolated services. The concept is one sourcing. I teach everything inside my one sourcing program. We talk about concepts. You can get through this in like level 2, which is the entrepreneur, and then we go into it a little bit more in operations, because obviously we marry systems up with the concept, and then we start to get into the finance module, which is level 4, which is all about piecing together the packages and the finance for that concept. So it's really, really important, and everything is inside one sourcing. You don't have to worry about figuring this out for yourself, because I figured it out many years ago. I've kept figuring it out, and I've put everything inside one sourcing. So make sure, if you want to be financially free in your business, you prepare to be financially free in your business with knowing how much you actually need to make, and then reverse engineering your packages to be able to make it, and then you know exactly what you need to be doing. Ta-da! Quick eye update. I went to the hospital last night. I do have a damaged cornea. That is why I'm blind as a bat in this one eye right now, but apparently my vision will return eventually when that heals itself. So that was my 1.5-year-old daughter that did that. Okay, so we are going to get into our, I'm sure it's going to get better soon. They said a few days, maybe a week, I'll have my full vision back, which will be lovely. It's been very interesting having a taste of what it's like to not have 20/20 vision. I certainly wouldn't enjoy that as an ongoing thing. I have a teenage daughter who wears glasses. Her vision's quite bad, and I have a lot of respect for her now, in terms of having to deal with this on a daily basis. It's quite interesting. Anyway, we're going to do daily accountability now. This is paramount importance to your financial goals, because this is something that we need to focus on daily to make sure that we are constantly improving ourselves every single day. So get your journals at the ready. We're going to do daily accountability now, and I shall see you back here tomorrow with the final part of our Prepare for Success concept, which is going to be another interesting one. So thank you so much for being here today, and I shall see you back here tomorrow. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.